If you're a college student or parent of a college student with student loans, this story is of interest to you. If you have no student debt and don't think you need to worry about the issue, think again. Kate Flexter joins us with more. Kate.
Well, thanks, Alan. The president of the New York Federal Reserve says high levels of student debt are a headwind to economic activity. The question is how strong that headwind could be and what it might mean for our economy.
Graduation is in sight for USF student Louis Carey, but he took out $20,000 in student loans just to get there, and that's with help from his parents.
It's sometimes unbearable how much it costs to get the degree.
Unbearable or not, Carey says he didn't have a choice. He worked several jobs while going to school just to make it happen.
When you try to enter the job market, if you don't have your degree, you're going to be taken off the list of possible candidates.
Millions of students are buried under much more debt than Carey. In America, 44 million people have student debt, and the National Student Loan Data System reports $1.4 trillion in outstanding federal student loans.
The reality is that the majority of people in the United States cannot afford out of pocket 4 years of a college education.
Jacob Harding is the co-director of college counseling at the Out of Door Academy in Lakewood Ranch, sending students to colleges and universities across the country. Counselors actually limit students to about $30,000 in loans when choosing a school. That's the most you can take out in federal loans.
Going to college is always a better bet than not going to college, but there's an asterisk, and that asterisk is what will be the debt you incur.
But federal loans aren't the only option. A lot of students turn to private banks offering loans with high interest rates. Plus, the cost of education continues to rise. Tuition went up 9% at four-year state institutions from 2016 to 2017, and 13% at private colleges. The hike in tuition comes as schools are adding administrators to build and promote their brand, while building expensive state-of-the-art facilities to attract students. It's part of what Harding calls an all-out arms race.
Until we decide institutionally say that's not what college is about, let's take some steps back. The cost isn't going to go anywhere. It's still going to be just as high.
It's a phenomenon that's leaving millions crippled with debt. An economist speculating this could be the next financial crisis or bubble. USF economics instructor Michael Snipes says it's possible.
As more and more students take on more and more debt, it becomes a bigger question, a bigger problem, how they're going to pay for that debt.
It's a crisis, says Snipes, causing ripple effects through our economy, forcing graduates to delay home ownership, car ownership, and just about any sort of significant spending. But Snipes points to one fundamental difference between the housing crisis and the student debt crisis.
And the primary difference is that student loan debt you can't declare bankruptcy on, something that they're stuck with for life.
For Carey, the only choice is to chip away at what's left of his debt. But he hopes to see universities and colleges operate less like businesses and more like educational institutions.
I hope to see colleges being more reasonable, only because the debt that they're putting people in is just very difficult for people to actually go ahead and better their lives and the lives of their children.
If you visit any college's website, you can find what's called a net price calculator that will determine just how much college will cost you.
Kate, thank you. Coming up, a student loan debt counselor, an economist, and the debate about an oncoming crisis when we take it to the trapezoid.